everybody, it's Jean, and today I'm going to do something with these pieces of photo paper. And I found that somebody had cut up the photo paper into photo-sized pictures, and I'm thinking that's not going to go through my printer. So I don't know. I was going to just toss them because I thought, well, you can't paint on photo paper. But I thought, well, let's see what happens when you do. So I did do a couple things here. And first of all, I tried some watercolor, and basically I'm going to show you how this kind of turned out. See, because I don't do drama here. I'm not going to build up to the conclusion. I was kind of pleased with some of it and kind of not pleased with some of it. And so on the shiny side, this is see, it even comes off. Oh, well, that's probably the watercolor that dripped over it. This blue here is the acrylic, and it's all streaky, and it does make nice marks and nice little streaks. So if that's the look you're going for, that might work for you. This is the watercolor, and of course it's not going to dry very well. And I kind of liked the crackle a little bit, but what I did with that is when I was trying to get it to dry, I just kind of smushed it on there, and then it left these crackle lines. But it normally would dry kind of like this. And I guess you could spray something over it. This was the reverse side, and it was very interesting, and I'm going to show you how it looked. It looked different when I was painting on it. It was like yupo paper. And all the colors ran beautifully on it. Now, I used the blow dryer to blow dry this. Not the blow dryer, but my heat gun to dry it. And I thought it had a lot of interesting texture, and I love the soft color of it. And so I'm pretty pleased. I might use the back sides, or what I might try is get out a piece of the piece of photo paper that is like a matte finish, and see how that works. But anyway, and then I tried sprayed inks. The sprayed inks are what really work nice. But let me show you just real quick how this looks to try and paint on photo paper on that shiny side. It's just it has a very unique look, and this is watercolor. And you can kind of smush it around. Add a lot of water and see how it runs. Which I thought this would be the one to work like yupo paper, but it really doesn't. It really doesn't want to move on here. So anyway, So I wasn't happy, and I wasn't happy how it dried. It had this, when it dried, it just crackled. It didn't dry nice and smooth. But you could spray ink over it, and you'd have that crackle look, and it isn't going to go anywhere. So that was kind of an interesting concept, I thought, to spray over it. But one of the interesting things, it just doesn't want to play. But anyway, one of the interesting things that I thought was kind of nice was putting a lot of water on the back of a card. Putting a lot of water on the back of a card, and then adding your color. And it just moves on this, where it didn't move. It didn't move on the other side. So I really liked this. See how it just it moves there? And it doesn't really mix. Well, it does, but it doesn't mix. I like the swirls and everything in it. So let me just throw one more color in here. Now I've moved that around so much, now it's not looking really good. So there's a lesson. But anyway, I don't think I'm going to throw this paper away. I think I'm going to do this. Oh, and then another thing. Another thing I wanted to try was to smush it. Oh my gosh, that totally ruined it. Okay. Okay, well, let's see. This is the non-shiny side. Oops. This is really messy. Now red and green put together is just going to be brown. So I'm not going to want to mix that too much. I wonder why there's a spot there. It doesn't want to mix. Okay, well anyway, let me see what happens when I try to dry it with the brush. Okay, I think that's going to take too long to dry, so I'm just going to set it aside, and then when it dries on its own, I will show you what it looks like. But speaking of, if I'm going to do that, let me throw some blue on there. And we'll just see where that goes. I'm going to set that aside. Okay. Point of that experiment was to tell you that you can't use watercolor. But I kind of discovered maybe you can. Maybe you can. Okay. I just mop up something and see what we get on this, just for fun. And this is the non-shiny side. You could make kind of a light background on that too. But one thing that I found that did work very well on these, and let me put some dry paper over this. On the shiny side was spray ink. Whoops, I guess you can't even tell this is spray ink anymore because I better close this. That was so vivid. I loved it. And then I think I can even maybe add another color. Now let's smush it. Well, let's leave that one as it is and see how we like it when it's all dry. Now, this is the shiny side again, and this is the shiny side. Now, I like that. I like that for a postcard. I like it just the way it is for a postcard, but that is a nice background too. So, I found out for sure that the spray inks work really, really nice. I love how that looks. And I didn't have to throw away these papers. Let me show you up close. Gives it a little texture when you smushed it together. So we'll look at them close, the ones that I didn't smush together and the two that I did. And see what we can do with those. One of the things I see here is it's pulling away in spots. All these little white spots, it's all pulling away. But it still, I think, makes a very interesting background. So I can't wait for it to dry. Now, I'm sure other people have done this, but I thought about throwing it away, and then I thought, well, before I throw it away, let's just see what I can do with it. Because why not? And this is what I'm really pleased with that. And I don't like this at all. Now, that is kind of interesting on its own, but I don't like it, you know, because I don't like it. Can I say that any more clearly? I don't like it. But I do like how the marks are, and I kind of like the streaks, just for something different. But I wouldn't like a steady diet of it. But I really like how this turned out on the back. What was I going to do with this? Oh, I was going to do some watercolor and then dry it and then spray ink over it. Let me make the background yellow. I like yellow. Now this is the shiny side. But it's a different kind of painted paper. And it's a little bit stiffer than the ordinary painted paper. And now this isn't too wet, so I've wet this a little bit more. I'll make these kind of in front. There, okay. Now what I want is a round brush. This is pretty thin. Okay, and give that a little bit of a center. And I was hoping it would make it a little more orange. That's okay. We'll keep it yellow. Okay. And put a few dots. Now if that was dry, I would add something in the middle, some dots, some black dots. I might be able to add some dark purple. That'll help. I need something more in the middle, and that's too wet. Too wet to do anything with. Okay, so we'll wait and see how that dries. Well, let's wait and see how long it takes. I kind of like it, actually. But I don't want to now spray any spray over it. So let me try another one here and just make some marks. I'll just make some not very talkative. It's raining outside. It's boring. And I feel bad because I promised a video for last night and I didn't get to it. Just some marks. Oh, well, what did I use before? I know, I'll just two colors isn't enough. Oh, well, it probably would have been, because once this dries, I'm going to spray some spray ink over it, and that will set the watercolor, I think. Okay. I'm getting tired of waiting on this, so let's see what happens. Not too bad, not too bad. There was a little bit that came off, but not too bad. And then I'm going to blow dry it some more. Oh, it's hot. Okay, now one of the things that I'm not liking is I don't like how it doesn't mix on the paper. When you tilt it, it looks like these are just smears on the paper. So I don't like that, but it might be just because it doesn't look bad like that, where it's dripping, and the lines don't look too bad. So it might be it's just that I don't care for the smears that much. Now, one thing I will do, I'm going to send this one out as a postcard. Ooh, which way? Which way would be best for a postcard? I guess this side would be best. But I like that side better. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna glue the back. Okay, it's a little short on this side. Do I want to trim that or not? Okay, well anyway, that makes a nice little postcard. I kind of like it as is, but you could paste something on it. That's kind of cute. Yeah, and that covers up a lot of that slimy looking green. See, I get myself in trouble because I don't measure or check things ahead of time. Okay. Okay, I like that. And I will okay, well, this is how this turned out. And you can kind of see the texture. And I think that's great for a postcard. Nice on the back. And let's see what happened to all the rest of them. Now, these dried nicely. And you can rub your hand on it. This isn't going to flake off or do anything. The ink I'm really confident of. I think with, or ink covered, I think even this, with the ink covered, is not going to flake or anything. But this, let me get a little bit more light on it. This is really made for the spray inks, so I think those are fine. This dried really nicely, and I added a few dots in the middle. And I need to put a back on it, but that'll make a great little postcard. This one, this is the this is the original one that I did to show you that you can't possibly use watercolor on photo paper. And I think it really turned out nice. I was really pleased with how the background turned out. I loved how it blended all together. And then I just added a picture and a little word because I think it's incredible that the one I was doing to show you it couldn't be done was one of my favorites. This is the one I didn't like at all. And that kind of turned out to be kind of a very cute little postcard. Then this one, the one I just mopped up the color with that. I kind of thought that turned out pretty nice too. Put a nice little back on it. And that I was pleased with that. It's very soft, very interesting. The colors. Let me see if I can get that. The colors are just very, very soft. But I like how that turned out. And just looking at it, like that. It's just an interesting, fun little card to send. And then this one. This is what I was looking for with these little script stickers. And those are nice. Now I could write favorite, but I like the color. Let me see if I can get better. I'd like to get some better light here. But anyway, I think that turned out really nice. So, very simple, very plain. Well, I put it back on it, and look what I've done. I've gotten some color on the back. That I just put a white cardboard on the back. But when I send this out, I'll have a little sticker over that. So, that was my little experiment with these. And I'm anxious to send one. So if you have any interest in getting a postcard from me, just give me a comment and let me know, and I will pick from all the comments the first 24 hours. How's that? From the time this posts. And I'll send out, see, I've got, and I'll let you choose whichever card that you would like. Kind of maybe gives you an idea of what kind of a postcard to make for the giveaway. So, and that gives me a chance to give back a little bit too by sending you guys a postcard. Okay, and that's it. That's all I'm doing. I'm going to let you go. And I really appreciate you watching, especially those of you who watched all the way through this. It was a little tedious, I think, but it was really fun for me. I was very surprised. Here I was going to throw away all these pieces of photo paper, thinking that you couldn't paint on them and they wouldn't go through the printer to print on them, so they were of no use. But I guess I showed myself, didn't I? Okay, well, thanks a lot, and go ahead and go back and enter the contest if you haven't already. You have plenty of time. You still have 3 weeks. And I do appreciate you, and I just hope that you all will subscribe and comment and try this. Bye-bye.